We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and now 3 times a week on the Internet nationwide. Our guest by phone from Hawaii, a very, very famous individual that we've had the pleasure of talking to before, Wally Amos Cookie and Kahuna Cookie fame.
So the new cookie is called Kahuna?
The Kahuna Cookie Company, yes.
The Kahuna Cookie Company.
The real meaning of Kahuna is caretaker. In Hawaii, Kahuna is commonly referred to as a priest, a minister. And it makes sense that caretaker would be the foundation for that word, because ministers care for their flock, as it were, for their congregation. And on a much bigger level, I believe that we are all caretakers of each other, that giving is receiving. When you are able to see others as yourself and respect that and serve other people, life has a much greater meaning. And you always wind up having whatever you need. So I feel good about this, and I'm talking about serving and service. I've served for many, many years. First, it was adult literacy, that I was national spokesperson for Literacy Volunteers of America. And then years later, I started my own foundation, the Read It Loud Foundation. And my goal for the rest of my life is just to promote the values, benefits, and importance of reading to children from birth at least till 6 years old for at least 10 minutes a day. If you do that, the whole world will change.
You know, I was reading this little note here that Marty gave me about kahu, K-A-H-U, which means to tend an oven. Yeah. Well, I happen to be president of an organization in Kern County, California called KAHU, Kern Association of Health Underwriters, and it's not like tending an oven. It's like tending a lot of people, and it's pretty hard. So I imagine tending an oven's pretty hard too.
Well, you know, the reality is that I have been a kahuna for my cookie, for the taste, the flavor, the essence of this cookie for almost 40 years. And so there are many ways that one can be a kahuna, but I think the greatest way is by serving each other, because we're here to serve one another. That's it. Why else are we living?
Yeah.
You know, it's not to see how much money you can make. No way. You make it and then you lose it. So what? Mm-hmm. But to share and to care for each other.
Yeah.
Because we are each other, man. We are not divided. We are not separated. We are all united. We are each other.
You know, Wally, I thought it was interesting when you sent me that definition of kahuna. You know, looking at the societal difference between, you know, you would think that would be leader, but it's not really leader. It's a leader is more of a caretaker as opposed to a leader. I think that's
exactly.
And that says a lot for the Hawaiian culture. You know, it's a caretaker situation where, like you say, we're taking care of each other rather than leading and you know, more of a less of a dictatorial thing and more of a helpful thing.
Well, that whole thing, that leadership. I mean, we're all leaders. We're all capable of being solid leaders. Leaders is someone who sets a positive example. You know, and for the good of everyone, not just for themselves. We are a greedy society. People just want to make how much money, you know? They'll create Ponzi scams. They'll create anything to get more money. But low self-esteem, I think, is at the base of all the issues, the problems that we're dealing with. Because if you don't think you're enough, then there's no such thing as enough. And you will go to any extremes to get more money, because it's always outside of you. Life is an inside job. It really is. It's within the heart of all of us to be better and to serve one another.
Well, I get the impression in listening to you that money is not the most important thing.
It is not, man.
Oh,
no,
good.
It is important. It is meaningful in life, but it will not save you.
Well, since it's not the most important, why don't you send us a box of cookies?
Well, but that doesn't make sense, because I'm not making money.
we're going to just...
I took what little income I had to give my cookies away, then my business goes away.
What we'll do is we'll distribute them around town for you.
So in terms of serving one another, you should help me get my business going by placing an order.
You got it. I'm placing an order right now for a box of cookies.
Okay, there you go. We're having a conversation
Money is important to sustain a business and to grow a business, and it has to be spent wisely. And if you give your product away, then you will not be in business long. Because you got to make a profit, otherwise you can't keep a business.
This is true. We're having a conversation with Wally Famous Amos from Famous Amos Cookies and Kahuna Cookies.
So, Wally, do you have a plant in Hawaii, or are you doing it out of your own house, or where are you making
I work with a commercial bakery to bake my cookies, and they charge me a fee for doing that. So I have to pay a bakery in order to make cookies, and they want their money in 7 days after they make cookies. So I got to bake them and sell them, bake them and sell them, bake them and sell them.
So you're doing everything for the company then. You're baking, you're marketing, you're selling.
No, I'm not baking. I was baking, but I have a bakery.
Yeah.
It's called Patisserie Bakery here in Hawaii, and they bake cookies. That's their job. That's their profession. They do a great job. They have my recipe. I've trained them in my procedure of baking cookies. These are handmade. These are my original handmade cookies. 3 flavors: chocolate chip pecan, and butterscotch with macadamia nut. All natural ingredients and lots of ingredients. The chocolate chip cookie has 32% chocolate. A lot of chocolate, man. So pure vanilla, pure butter, handmade. You don't find many cookies that are actually handmade.
This is true. Wally, I want to just talk about your positive attitude for a second. I was reading an article. They were talking about Famous Amos and that what you'd gone through. And somebody said that you had in your shoes the word forgiveness written down just to remind you that that's the approach you wanted to have.
Oh, wow.
Is that a true story?
It is. There's a friend of mine named Jerry Jampolsky, very spiritually oriented guy, just a great guy. We've known each other since 1975. And he had his whole premise is based on forgiveness, and he studied A Course in Miracles. And he had a little pad that he put in the bottom of his shoe, and he would give them out to people. And he was encouraging people to practice forgiveness. And he said, let every step I take be one of forgiveness.
Oh, wow.
And I had them in my shoes. But, we'll do anything. We stress, I could never forgive you for that. When you hold something against yourself, against someone else, you're holding a grudge, or you're holding it against you. Acid can do more harm to the vessel on which it is poured, to which it is stored, than the object on which it is poured. You can keep acid in a container, and it could take years to eat away. But when you pour it on yourself, that's it. When you keep that venom in your heart, you're eating yourself away. So forgiveness is the way to the future. Love is the answer for everything, man. It absolutely is.
I totally agree. Now, we've got about 2 minutes left here. The website is www.thecookiekahuna.com, spelled Kahuna, www.thecookiekahuna.com. I wanted to ask you a question real quick about an article I saw you wrote in the Costco magazine, entitled Follow Your Dream Anyway.
Well, I've been writing that Costco article for 20 years. I write that article once a quarter, and I just recently submitted my article, which will run in the January edition of Costco, and it's titled Please Don't Quit, because too many people stop right at the point of great success and they give up. The only way you lose is if you quit, is if you stop. But if you keep going, everything is possible. So I just encourage everyone, whatever your dream, whatever your idea, whatever you're working on, do not give up. There's no plan for how quickly or how slowly things are to happen. But they will not happen if you quit. But if you hold on, good things will come to you. I know that. I believe that. I am living proof of that.
Wally, you're an inspiration to a lot of us. Again, the website is www.thecookiekahuna.com. Thank you so much, Wally, for the time, and we'd love to have you back in the future.
Thank you, Marty. And I will hold on to your address because eventually I'll send you guys some more cookies. Thank you for the exposure.
Hold on for a second.
Will he wants to give you another address.
Email me. My email is wally@wallyamos.com.
We'll see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.